Okay, so I finished Fitz and the Fool. God damn! That ending. That ending. And the whole ride, too. And I'm going to start with the structure of this trilogy and how brilliant it is because of, it's chock full of, I want to say, references to the past few books. And I actually want to talk about the journey of Fitz. Not his journey, but like his physical journey throughout. Because I think it's very fascinating. The first book, as always, it's a setup book. But what's so good about this setup book is, first, if we go look at the other two trilogies, Assassin's Apprentice, and we think of, oh my god, I can't remember the... Fool's Errand. Well, you know what? No, I take that back. So, this feels like I don't want to say reference, but it calls back to Assassin's Apprentice, to me, in the way that we're in a new place, and we're learning to settle down there. And then, at the end of it, we just get thrown out and and don't have to deal with it. Fool's Errand, I was gonna say we were mostly in Buck Keep, but that's not true at all. Most of Fool's Errand, we were not in Buck Keep. And I should also say, full spoilers. I don't know why you would have clicked on this video if you haven't read all the books. I will say spoilers in the name of the video, so don't be here if you haven't read Realm of the Elderlings. Don't do it. Don't do it. 'Cause believe me when I tell you, this series will change you. And I actually think that Jimmy from the Fantasy Network put it best. I was watching his spoiler discussions. He put it so well. It makes you feel empowered to deal with the hard stuff in life. And he put it perfectly. He really did. I love this series so much. Man. But, again, leave if you if you haven't read all of Realm of the Elderlings. Anyways, back to the talk that I have. But the first book was... I mean, all of these were 5 stars, let's be honest. In its structure, I thought it called back to Assassin's Apprentice a little bit more. Actually, it felt like a little bit of the inverse. Because there's a little bit of... No, actually, no! I take that back. I'm sorry. I'm a mess. But Bee's journey seems to parallel Fitz's a little bit. Because she causes a little mischief. I don't want to say mischief, but like... I'm thinking of when Fitz ran away. And Bee... And he feels abandoned by Birch? I always called him Burrich, and then somebody said Burek, and then I've just been changing everywhere, and so I've never actually thought of his name in a pronunciation form. I just see the name and go, yeah, that's that guy. That's the wonderful guy who I love dearly, and also get annoyed with a lot. I think you can say that for a lot of characters here, can't you? But, man, the way that Molly dies, I also want to point out, just the... What's it called? The prophecy that was spewed out immediately afterwards. I think I went down and wrote it. I loved it so much. Where B goes, I don't want to fuck it up, but it was so ominous. I'm like, oh, the Fool's coming back! The Fool's coming back! And I really expected the Fool to come back a little bit later in the book than he did. Earlier in the book. I thought he would come back at like the halfway mark, and like I'm constantly going, where's the Fool? Where's the Fool? Where's the Fool? Where's the Fool? And then we get him at like page, this is how long? 600. We get him at like page 600. That's what I thought, but the way B seems to feel abandoned maybe I should have said the emotional journey she goes through seems very similar to Fitz's. I'd actually like to go reread Assassin's Apprentice to clarify any things that I have to say about that, because I read Assassin's Apprentice back in September of last year, and I've been slowly gnawing away at the series because it was immediately my favorite. But I digress. I loved how Bee's journey seems to parallel Fitz's until she gets stolen. Oh, that ending to this book was horrible, haunting, and amazing, and so brilliant all at once. But her journey, again, seems to parallel Fitz's. And so then we get that twist, and we go, oh, that's where this is going, isn't it? and I actually want to talk about Bee's kidnapping. Hobb is such a good writer that even as Bee is kidnapped, Bee maintains agency. I love that so much. Hobb maintains the agency of a character who is being kidnapped. That's brilliant. I mean, clearly you need to have such a brain to do that, because think about it. Somebody who's being kidnapped is having their agency stolen from them. And it's like, it's a tug of war. It's a back and forth between her and Dwalia, who I may say, fuck Dwalia! Oh my god! That bitch! I hate her! I hate her so much! I don't know if I hate her more or less than Kyle. Like, just, she's toe-to-toe with Kyle, and that's not a good thing. Because Kyle's one piece of shit. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her so much. But, Dwalia, I fucking want to kill her. Just I'll get there. But I gotta talk about Fool's Quest now. And so I'll talk about the whole quest thing. The structure of the quest is something that immediately came to mind and is so completely brilliant in the way she ties everything before it so well together. And I know you're going to think probably live ships and all that, but it's a little bit more than that. I'll talk to you about it later. But Fool's Quest, can we talk about that amazing scene? You know which scene I'm talking about. Never is over. Never is over. Oh man, I was almost crying. And that means a lot to me, because I've cried twice while reading, and I just generally don't cry. So I was on the brink of tears just reading that scene. I felt so, how Fitz has been in hiding for, 40 years of his life? And he's in his 60s? And then Chade comes up to him. Was it Chade? I think it was Chade. And grabs his wrist and says, never is over. I want to go reread it now. So many scenes in this trilogy where I'm just going, oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. That was just amazing. Oh my god! Never is over. Just like how it's so fantastic. I mean, chef's kiss. How could you not love that book? This book in general. The one nitpick I did have for Fool's Quest, though, was it took Fitz, 400 pages to half the book to realize that B was stolen. Because it does not matter what he's doing in Buckkeep. I don't care. Why did, in the back of my head, or every time I was reading a Fitz chapter in this book, I'm going, just go to Fitz, or just go back. Go back to Withywood's right now. Go. And maybe that's just the brilliance of Hobb showing, where she makes you feel this urgency, while Fitz doesn't even realize the need for urgency. But I don't know why he doesn't feel the need for urgency. He just left his daughter alone. That frustrated me. I think that's the only time in this trilogy where I just was unbelievably upset with Fitz. I'm super forgiving of Fitz's bullshit, but that I wasn't. I was so upset, but I do understand it. I still don't like it. But just in the way B is constantly fighting back. Oh no, was it Fool's Assassin or was it Fool's Quest? Oh wait, no, it might have been Fool's Quest, but I don't remember. There was one scene that just hit me. It was when it felt like Fitz was meeting Night Eyes. I don't know why it felt like he was meeting Night Eyes again, but he was looking at the stone wolf, and just I was in tears, or I was almost in tears, but oh, I was just gut wrenched by that scene. And oh, another scene when what's his name, the fool, when Beloved is saying, "I gave you up," and he feels so guilty about it too. And we know do we know the moment? Did it happen in Fool's Assassin? It might have. I think it did. I don't remember, but the way the fool is going and harping on and saying, I betrayed you. I betrayed you. And oh, it's so gut wrenching. Oh man. And to see how Fool's Quest just develops the Fool's relationship with Fitz even more, because it's already so complex. And then Kelsingra. I loved getting to go see Kelsingra again. I didn't like the Rainwald Chronicles that much, I must admit it. But, man, holy shit, being able to go see some of those characters, specifically Malta and Rain, I was having a blast, because I love those two characters. But the just power in like the fool scene, and oh, when this was the one that really hurt me. It was seeing Perseverance try to talk to his mother, and then when Fitz brings the elfbark tea to his mother, makes her drink it, and then she realizes, oh shit, I just cast out my son, who just saw his father die. And just the intense amount of guilt that is in both of them, or that was in her, and just the pain that was in Perseverance. Like, he's aptly named. Holy shit, that hurt. And to see and how this affects him, because it continues to affect him into Assassin's Fate. I'm just going to quickly talk about Assassin's Fate, and then I'll get to it eventually. Don't worry, I will. And how when Fitz is carving the wolf, Per immediately tries to get rid of his memory of his mother casting him out. And just, he can't. And that, oh, like, that's the first thing Perseverance does. As soon as he realizes he can pour his memories away, he's like, he goes immediately to the wolf and says, oh, I want to get rid of those memories of my mother casting me out. I don't need those. I don't want them. I don't need them. Oh, man. It's this kid, and he's just, that hurt. That hurt a lot. It did. I'm not gonna lie. And, wow. Just the ending sequence for this book, too, where Fitz is going around and thinking, holy shit, my child is dead because I took the fool to Buckkeep, and I just couldn't go back. And I also want to say that for these first two books, I fucking hated Shun or Shine. She drove me insane. I feel bad for her, but my God, it's that same idea of you must live such a miserable life to force all your pain onto other people, to just chuck it at them again and again and again. And stunning, brilliant, but fuck you, Shine. just fuck you. I do not like you. Screw you. And, Land, I still don't really like him. I'm not gonna lie. I just never liked him. But I did respect his adherence to his word and his desire to keep his promise to his father. Because it meant a lot to him, clearly. Excuse me. And, oh, there were so many scenes. But then I get to tell you about Assassin's Fate. So, is that it? I'm just trying to think if I have anything else for Fool's Quest. Okay, no. So I'm going to tell you about the structure now. The structure of the quest. I just want to talk about how brilliant this is to me. How it starts with a land journey. So, yeah, they use the skill pillars, but it's a land journey, okay? Cut me some slack. And it's for assassins. Wait, what am I going on? Oh, that's what I was... You'll see in a second. Assassin's Quest was an entire land journey. It was about Fitz getting to the mountains by foot. And the first section of this of the structured journey is Fitz going on land to Kelsingra. I mean, yeah, he used the skill pillars. Again, I gotta admit that, but maybe I'm stretching this bit. So I'll cut you that slack. But yeah, I'm sticking to this. And then the second part is a sea journey. Fool's Fate, anyone? Remember that? That was a sea journey to Islevjal. And what do you know? Fitz has to go on a sea journey to get to the end. And I also want to talk about the parallels of B's journey and Fitz's journey. So, as Fitz is going to Clarice, fuck Clarice, by the way, maybe I shouldn't have. But I couldn't help it. Fuck all of them. I felt like there was a bit of joy in me as each and every one of these horrible, bastardized human beings were just destroyed. Specifically, Dwalia. Can you blame me? When Dwalia was told, die, and then I get to laugh at her death. I didn't laugh at her death, but I'm like, oh, well, that scene was so... I'm going to talk about the Dwalia death scene, and then I'm going to talk to you about the parallels. Oh my god, that... Hob was mean. That was such a mean scene, you know? Yes, I want vengeance on Dwalia. Fuck Dwalia. But the way she does it is just, oh, you get what you want. But I'm also gonna take something, too. Because it's like, B going, I'm the destroyer. I'm the one who brings the havoc. I'm the one who will destroy Clarice. And you go, no! Not B! Not B, not B, not B. I don't want this to be B. Oh! Because it's this, like, she's giving you what you want, but in this twisted and demented way. I wanted Fitz to do it. Sure, Fitz is a retired assassin, but he's a trained killer. He knows how to do this. He knows how to handle those feelings. B doesn't. I don't want her to be a trained killer. But she ends up being a killer. And it hurts so much. Seeing B go, this beloved, this beautiful little child, murder Dwalia. And just tell her to die, to kill herself. And to burn Symph alive. I believe that's what she did, unless I'm insane. I think she burned Symph alive. With the lamp. My god! That's such a brutal thing for a child to have to do. But it was such a good scene, too. Oh, man, that scene was just fantastic. But, again, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Fantastic in the way that it was made. not fantastic in what it did to B. I was not happy with that. I was not happy with the fact that it was B who was the destroyer. Not even a little bit. But the way that B in Fitz's journeys parallel. So as Fitz is going to Clarice, we see him constantly think, B is dead, B is dead, B is dead, B is dead, and refute all hope until at the very end. And then B does a little bit of the opposite. As she's going, she starts in denial, and then she just accepts it. And she believes that Fitz is dead all the way back. And then, man, the seeing Fitz's journey was brutal. Like, oh, I hated it. But when he got to the quarry, it's like it's this full loop, because that's the end of Assassin's Quest, the quarry. And so we're going back to the quarry. We're going back to the first ending that we had, and that's where we're going to end it all. I dreamed we crafted a dragon together. We carved a dragon together. Oh, man. And the way that Fitz so brilliant, like, just I loved his denial at the start, and then how he finally accepts, I gotta carve a wolf, don't I? And then he starts to carve the wolf. And oh my god, that final scene. That final scene is impeccable. Oh my god. You know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save it. I'm going to talk about the wolf scene in a minute. But there were a couple moments in this book specifically that really, really hit me. So I loved Fitz's conflict on how he was constantly saying, I trust the fool, but I don't trust that Amber person. I thought that was brilliant, because I mean, I loved how Fitz was going. It's like he's putting on a mask to hide the things that he's doing. And of course, I can't understand the fool. I just don't. I can't understand the fool at all, period. But I mean, well, I take that back. I understand aspects, but only so much, you know? The fool is a very complicated character, and we are not inside his head. But to see that conflict of, I don't trust Amber, and I think that's fair, too, because when he acts as Amber to Fitz, Amber's a completely different person than the fool. Like, Amber acts completely differently than how the fool would in situations. And a good example of this is when Amber goes to Paragon and offers him silver without even without asking or talking about it with Althea and Brashen. Yes, Paragon is his own being with his own sentience, but at the same time, this is Althea and Brashen's livelihoods that she's toying with. That you know what? I'm just gonna call him the fool. Sorry, I'm gonna leave it there. The fool is just destroying their livelihoods. And one of my favorite scenes of all time is, and I have the quote memorized, when the fool goes to Althea and asks, so have you forgiven me? And Althea says, some things aren't to be forgiven or unforgiven. They're simply a crossroads. And my feet have been set on this path. All I have control over now is what I do next. I haven't forgiven you as much as I haven't forgiven Kenneth. Or Kyle for taking Vivacia from me. Oh my god. That's such a powerful line. And I took that one to heart, by the way. I love that line so much. From the bottom of my heart, that line just rang out in my soul. And I remember I read that line and I just I didn't know where my phone was because I have a quote book in my phone. And so I'm running around my house trying to find my phone so that I can grab the quote book, and then I find out that it's just in a random obscure spot, of course, because that's how it works with these things. That was also just right next to me when I was reading it. But I found my phone and immediately wrote it down. I have the page cited. I have my phone over there, but I'm not going to go look at the quote book right now. It's not worth my time. I know the quote by heart. I love that line. I love that scene where Althea is just admitting, I will never forgive you. I won't forgive Kenneth. I won't forgive Kyle. But it's also not something that I'm going to hate you for. I can't forgive you. And I actually think this is a very powerful line because it goes in contradiction to a lot of stories I've seen. A lot of stories seem to preach forgiveness, and I see a lot of people preach forgiveness as the answer. And I think Althea presents this alternative of, it's not really the answer, because you can't really forgive some of these horrible, horrible things. But you can move on with your life. In fact, you have to. I love Althea even more because of this book. This book just made me love Althea so much more. And it made me want to go reread the Live Trip Traders, because, again, Althea is one of my favorite characters. Also, I just love the name. It made me think, so I just think names with A's are very pretty. That's a little narcissistic. I get it. I don't think my name's pretty, though. I think it's me. I think it's really weird. No, I think about it, because it's like, if a lady has a name with an A in the right spot, I'm like, that's a pretty name. I don't know why. Cut me some slack. I just feel like it. It's a gut feeling, okay? Especially when you pronounce the A like A. Come on. It's okay. But seriously, I do love the name Althea. It's just a very pretty name. And I love that character. It made me want to go reread Live Ship Traders, which I wouldn't be shocked if I did that this year. I won't lie. I might. I genuinely might. Like, maybe in June or July, I'll just grab my copy of Live Ships and just start reading Ship of Magic, reread that one. I might just read the trilogy yearly, because I love Live Ship Traders. But I'm going to back off from that. Just the theme from Althea, the ideas that she presents and that she represents are brilliant in regards to forgiveness. I truly do love that section so much. And another scene I want to point out is the burning of the Clarice library. I love that. It's this... actually, that's another thing I really want to tackle. The idea of taking charge of your own fate. And that statement of, I'm the one in control. I am my own catalyst, is continuously repeated again and again and again and again in Assassin's Fate. And it doesn't feel like it's hammering me on my head. It genuinely just feels like these people are realizing that we must be the ones in charge of our own fate. Nobody else should ever have the right to know our fate. Our fate. I'm sorry. But the way in which Hobb continuously shows us this, and how B, I actually love how B was asking Prilkop, then who's my catalyst? And Prilkop goes, I don't know, maybe Dwalia. And just B was so disgusted by the idea. Dwalia, my catalyst? I am not gonna lie, I was pretty disgusted by the idea too. Sitting there going, what do you mean Dwalia is her catalyst? Fuck you. Shut up. Dwalia can't be her catalyst. Dwalia is a bitch. But the way it hammers that in, and there's one more thing that I'm going to talk about with the final scene that hammers that in even more so. Oh, I think it's time, though. I think it's time to talk about the last scene, you know? It's burned into my mind forever and ever. This scene will never leave me. I've read it 4 or 5 times already. Seriously, I love this scene. It's so poignant, so powerful, of B shouting at Beloved, I lied! I lied! I was angry that it was you who was there and not my father. The brilliance of that scene, and then how the fool says, I'm going to quote it, how his response is immediately, what? His mouth hung open after that word, his eyes wide. He made a stupid face of astonishment. And then B just lashes out at him and says, stupid again, asking stupid questions. Go with him, go now. It's you he wants, not me, go. And then there was another, there are a couple things throughout this passage too, where not the dialogue, but the words on the page, the descriptions are saying that she just loathed Beloved, that she was jealous. It's truly childlike of her, and I thought that was so brilliant of Hobb. And it was as if he hadn't known he was loved the best, that he was the beloved. I could feel the just pure contempt for his name that B had. I thought that was kind of funny. And the way that the fool wordlessly gets up and moves over to Fitz, it was so... and another line from B that just hit was, he loved you more than he ever loved any of the rest of us. Oh, man. Oh, man. Like, you just hurt because you know that she believes this. And then the fool goes, and then he goes into the wolf, and then there's one line that's so poignant, so powerful, that just, I cannot forget it. Briefer than an instant, I saw light striate out from them. A nexus, a node on the path of fate. Then it was finished. Something finally complete, as it should have been. And I'm going to get to that line in a minute. But the lines that hit me with every fiber of my being was when the wolf looked at B and went, those were astounding lies, cub. And the very last one, the most inspired of all. You have your father's talent for it. He gave a final shake of his coat. I go to the hunt! Yes! His claws left deep scratches on the stone as he leapt, not only over the fire, but over all of us. For a moment he was motion in the darkness, then gone. He did it, Dutiful shouted. He did it. He seized Nettles in his arms and whirled her round. Hap rose to his feet, and in his minstrel's voice he declaimed to the half-roused camp, and so the Wolf of the West rose from the stone, and so he will rise again if ever the folk of the 6 duchies call to him in need. 7 duchies, Kettrikin corrected him. I had to read it, I had to. Oh, it's so good! In fact, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go reread this entire scene again. Oh my god! It's just brilliance, pure brilliance! Oh my god! I love it so much. I just, oh my god, I love it. Because, especially, and I'm going to go back to the line that I really need to hone in on. Something finally complete, as it should have been. I thought I had a bookmark. But, so, remember how we were saying one of the main themes of Assassin's Fate is taking charge of your own life, of being your own catalyst. Think about this. The White Prophet and the Catalyst merging inside of the wolf, becoming one. We all are the people who must be the White Prophet. We must be our own prophet, and we must be our own catalyst. I mean, it's brilliance. It's this, it's not told to you, but it feels like it is just, it's shouted from the rooftops, screaming at you. You are your catalyst, you are your prophet, and that is the thing that you must be, because you are not the fool, you are not the Fitz. You must be both. You must be the White Prophet, and you must be the catalyst. It's brilliant. And then I love that idea of I love how the wolf looks at B and just says, "You were lying. Oh, what wonderful lies. I'm so proud of you. You're just like your father. Look at you." It's like this, it feels like this moment of pride swelling. It's the moment of pride for everyone, really. Everybody's proud of Fitz, and Fitz is proud of his daughter. And you, as the reader, are so proud to have gone on this journey to have seen Fitz's triumphs. And B's triumphs, too. And just to see how, just the way he just so subtly dismisses B's last statement of, he loved you more than he ever loved any of us. That last lie, the most astounding of them all. You have your father's talent for it. It's so brilliant. It's so powerful because it is that idea of, look, no, you are so wrong. You were dead wrong. You had the wrong idea. He loved you all so much. So very much. And another thing that throughout this series I love is the way it's the fool's love. I think you called it boundless love. It takes no definite shape. It is just boundless. It is forever and ever reaching. I love you eternally. I don't care what form that takes, but I love you. And that's another thing that I think is so profoundly conveyed throughout the entire series. Love need not take a definite shape. It need not be friendship or romance. It just need be love. I love this series. It's so powerful. It's so impeccable. And to see how all the original people from Fool's Quest, Kettrikin, all the living people who were there at Fool's Quest, Fool, Kettrikin, and Fitz, all three of them, they felt like a trio together, if you ask me. And to see them all there, and then Kettrikin, the last remaining part of this trio, walks up and takes care of their child. Nothing has just... I don't think anything can ever top this. because it's so profound, it's so powerful to me. It is that moment of triumph. We end Assassin's Fate with pure, utter triumph. And I know it seems the line Kettricken smiled seems to be a little bit contentious. I loved it. I mean, did it evoke as much reaction, or as much of an emotional reaction out of me as I am content? No. Let's be honest. I am content is the most wonderful thing. I get it. But that's from the emotional reaction side. But the Kettricken smiled feels more powerful in the long run to me. Because how it goes is it's this idea of you're being watched over by your loved ones. B is being watched over by her father and the fool and the people who loved her dearest. And man, I just it's that idea of Kettricken is smiling because this series is going to stay with me. It's gonna the things that I have seen through this series and the things that I've seen in my life as over the course of reading this series is impeccable. It's profound in the ultimate sense, and I love it so very much. Man, if you haven't read Realm of the Elderlings and you just watched this, what are you doing? I haven't spoiled Tawny Man, and I haven't spoiled Live Ship that much, and I haven't spoiled Farseer. So guess what? I just told you the reasons why you should go read those. Go read them. Go do it. You are robbing yourself if you haven't done it. This series, as Jimmy from the Fantasy Network said, empowers you, and it empowered me to deal with the hardships of life in the way that you best see fit. I love that so much in a series, and it's changed me forever. It's changed my view of the world, and it has changed my view of so many things. I hope it has for you too. Tell me what you thought of the last trilogy. Tell me what you think of Realm of the Otherlings. You can't spoil me anymore unless Robin Hobb is in the comments and saying, "Ooh, look at this spoiler for the new book." Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I can't wait for those new books, by the way. I am so excited and so stoked for those sequels that Robin Hobb apparently has in the work for Realm of the Elderlings. I'll read them in an instant. Anyways, I hope you all have had a great day. I hope you all enjoyed this. I know it's pretty long, but I had to. You know, I don't care how many people view this. I love this series so much. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and see you all next time.